Order guide order.
Scratch! Teamwork is dreamwork!
Barbados,
I swear by my sword! Teamwork is dream. Why do they never miss?
Prepare to die, fool!
Hey, what's up YouTube? And today I'll be showing you guys how to build one of the best supports in the game, Bennett. Bennett has been out since 1.0 in Genshin Impact's release and has stayed relevant to this day. His kit provides the role of a healer as one of the best attack buffers in the game. When the game released in 1.0, most players didn't understand Bennett's kit that well and swept him under the rug. But now Bennett is one of the most used characters in Spiral Abyss. In this guide, I'm going to be showing you guys why Bennett is such a broken unit and how you should build it. Now that the introductions are out of the way, I'm going to showcase my Bennett I'm going to use through the guide. My Bennett currently has 26 crit rate, 74 crit damage, 210 energy recharge, and 46.6 pyro damage bonus. His weaponry is the R5 Festering Desire. He has the Noblesse Oblige 4-piece set, and these are what my artifacts look like. I have my Bennett at Constellation 6, and his talents are level 1, 11, and 12.
Wow! Where did that come from?
Okay, first let's get into Bennett's weapons. For Bennett, you want the sword with the highest base attack. The highest sword with the base attack will increase the attack buff given by Bennett. So that can be the Festering Desire with a base attack of 510, the Prototype Rancor with a base attack of 565, or 5-star weapons which have the highest base attack, or like Jade Cutter with a base attack of 542, but increases attack based on HP. Currently, I have the Festering Desire on Bennett because it has a base attack of 510, an energy recharge of 45.9, and the skill reads increases elemental skill damage by 32% and elemental skill crit rate by 12%. This weapon was released during the 1.3 Dragon Spine event. If you missed out on that event or started playing later, the Prototype Rancor would do just fine because it has a high base attack. You cannot use the physical damage bonus that well because you are not really autoing on Bennett, but your attack buff will be bigger than the Festering Desire. 5-star weapons are obviously the best choice for Bennett because they just have the largest base attack, so therefore you are getting the largest attack buff. Next, let's get into Bennett's Constellations. His C1 reads his old attack buff no longer has an HP restriction and gains an additional 20% of Bennett's base attack. I'd say his C1 is the most useful constellation on Bennett. If you were to go for constellations on Bennett, his C1 is an absolute must. It just turns on Bennett's kit so well. His C2 reads when Bennett's HP falls below 70%. His energy recharge is increased by 30%. His C4 is using a normal attack when executing the second attack of Passion Overload's charge level 1 allows an additional attack to be performed. This attack does additional 135% of the second attack's damage. So Bennett's C4 may be a little bit complicated or hard to understand for most of us. But what it basically is a new mechanic to his E, and I'll perform a bit of a demonstration right now.
Benny's adventure team.
So you charge up Bennett's E until you see this gold flash right here. Then release the charge. Once Bennett's in the sky, then you perform an auto attack. Okay, now back to the guide. And a C6 has a lot of controversy, and I would express warning if you have physical comps. So it reads sword, claymore, or pole-arm wielding characters inside Fantastic Voyage's radius gain a 50% pyro damage bonus, and the main thing is the weapons are infused with pyro. So if you're running Razor, if you're running Eula, you don't want to C6 your Bennett. C6ing your Bennett will basically cuck all your physical comps and make Bennett unusable in that team. It's going to convert their physical damage into pyro damage, and certain characters aren't going to get the physical bonuses in their kit. Next up, we got Bennett's talents and skills. First up for Bennett is his auto attacks. His auto attack scaling is extremely weak. I wouldn't recommend maxing your autos at all unless you're going with DPS Bennett, in which I don't recommend that. You can see they have low scaling numbers, and the charge plunge is also not as high. Bennett's next skill is basically Bennett swings a single strike with power damage and provides up to a few energy particles. If you hold it for a short amount of time, it activates its level 1 strike, and that strikes twice, dealing power damage and launching opponents. His level 2 strike unleashes 3 consecutive attacks that deal a lot of power damage, but the last attack triggers Bennett to fly backwards into the air, but takes no damage from being launched. I would usually always use Bennett's tap ability, just a single strike, because it provides the same amount of energy particles as the last two. Bennett's last skill, Fantastic Voyage, is what makes him one of the most busted characters in the game. So he'll perform a jumping attack that deals power damage and create a field around him. If the character within the AoE field is less than 70% health, it will heal them up continuously until they reach that 70% threshold. The regeneration rate is based off Bennett's max HP, and if their HP is 70% and greater, they gain an attack bonus based on Bennett's base attack. It also inflicts a power status on all the characters. Bennett's base attack is basically his attack he gets from levels plus the base attack of his sword. His attack right here without any of the artifacts plus Bennett's sword. So the sword does count as Bennett's base attack, that's why you wanted the highest base attack sword. But yeah, it's based off Bennett's base attack, which is the white number, and then the sword. I'd recommend maxing his ult first, because that is part of Bennett's kit. It's his main kit, and you get the attack bonus ratio leveled up as well. The best artifact set to run on Bennett is the 4 Police Noblesse Oblige. The 4 Police Noblesse Oblige set reads, Elemental Burst damage is increased by 20%, and using an Elemental Burst increases all party members' attack by 20% for 12 seconds. Most people know that 4 Police Noblesse Oblige is good on Bennett. It increases his burst damage, while also increasing the attack of all party members. But another set that for me has gone under the radar by most people is a 2-piece Emblem of Severed Fate and a 2-piece Tenacity of the Millilith. The Tenacity of the Millilith 2-piece set is HP is increased by 20%. The Emblem of Severed Fate set reads Energy Recharge is increased by 20%. These two sets work so well with Bennett because they give Bennett 2 of the main stats he already wants. Energy Recharge to activate his ult more times, and HP percent to increase the healing for him ultimate. Just note that if you are running a 2-piece Tenacity of the Millilith, 2-piece Emblem of Severed Fate, you are going to lose that attack buff that you get from Noblesse Oblige, so your attack may be lower, but your healing will be higher. Now, you may be wondering which is a better set, a 4-piece Noblesse Oblige or a 2 Tenacity, 2 Emblem of Severed Fate. Well, this mostly boils down to preference, and I'll condense it down to this. If you want more heals and you want to spend your ult more, I'd take a 2-piece Tenacity, 2 Millilith set. But if you want the attack buff that the 4-piece Noblesse Oblige set gives, I would take a 4-piece Noblesse Oblige. Just also note that it's a lot easier to farm a 2-piece Millilith and a 2-piece Emblem of Severed Fate than it is a 4-piece Noblesse Oblige. After you have decided on an artifact set for Bennett, the next thing you need to do is roll good substats. But what are the best substats on Bennett? The best artifact stats on Bennett are Energy Recharge and HP. I'll have you guys know that this is again a support Bennett guide. If you're going DPS Bennett, that is going to be something different. But for Bennett, you want to build HP and Energy Recharge. The general rule of thumb for energy recharge on Bennett is about 200 energy recharge. You can get away with more, you can get away with less, depending on if you have a higher DPS on your team that can generate particles for you. I like to use an energy recharge sword instead of rolling so many substats into energy recharge, and that can focus a little bit more on HP. Now, you may begin to notice after a certain while of using Bennett that if you roll too much into HP, you're just going to start overhealing. And this happens to every single healer in the game. You'll reach a threshold where your character is at max HP and you'd rather just have more damage. So this is where things start to get more complicated, and at this point, it's more what do you want your Bennett to be. What's going to change for most of us is going to be our sands, our goblet, and our circlet. A standard Bennett is pretty simple and easy to build. It's just energy recharge main stat or HP main stat. Simple, easy. But once you start overhealing and you rather have your Bennett deal more damage, that's where things start to get harder to build. So if you want a simple basic Bennett, just HP, energy recharge. Now if you want a more complicated Bennett on your sands, you could run attack percent. On your goblet you can run pyro damage, or on your circuit you can either attack percent or crit rate. I'd say for a rule of thumb, when customizing your Bennett, you're going to at least want one HP main stat artifact on either your circlet, your goblet, or your sands. For me, I have 2 HP main stat artifact, and it's on my circlet and it's on my sands. My goblet is pyro damage. For Bennett's team comps, it's pretty simple. You can just put him in like anywhere and he's just automatically the best healer on the team. Now, I don't really want to end it at that, so I'm just going to give you guys some good options for Bennett. One good option being Xiangling, because she can't generate particles herself that well, so she can depend on Bennett to generate particles easily for her. Because his E is on just a low cooldown, and it's pretty easy for Bennett to charge his own ult himself. If you were to build a child and Xiangling team, Bennett is probably the best healer for that team because he's good at generating energy particles to feed into your main damage dealing Xiangling's ult.
Time to act. Everybody stand back! Power that ended high shot!
Illusion shattered! Torn to oblivion!
Teamwork is dreamwork! Eyes on me! Witness the power of Gugwa! Rain outlines your fate! Know my sword!
Now you shall perish! There is no escape!
Rain outlines your fate! Rain come...
Illusion shattered!
You haven't won yet!
Don't be a killjoy!
Inazuma shines eternal! Ha! Shine down!
Everybody stand back! Back off!
I miscalculated.
To ashes!
Now you shall perish! There is no escape!
Teamwork is dreamwork! Witness the power of Gugwa! Know my sword!
Illusion shattered!
Teamwork is dreamwork! Ring cutter!
Eat this! Out of the fry pan!
Inazuma shines eternal! Shine down!
Nice and spicy!
Everybody stand back!
Torn to oblivion! Illusion shattered!
Your toast! Go back!
Time to act! Let me weave you a bird. Teamwork is dreamwork!
Ha! There is no escape! Now you shall perish! Illusion shattered!
Everybody stand back! Off we go!
Eat this!
Alright, and that's gonna wrap it up for today's video.
Wow! Where did that come from?
It is a super broken and universal 4-star that's even used to his day. His attack buff and healing potential makes him an easy slot in for almost every team comp. In my opinion, Bennett is the best 4-star in the game, and he's a definite build if you own him. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
Benny's adventure team, assemble!